Oh, I don't know. I'm sure we do it once a year, twice a year in Detroit, it seems like. But, yeah, it was a little drizzle out there early, but cleared up. It was pretty nice at the end.
Matthew, what would you make of specifically your work day today? Some of the things you guys tried, some of the looks that you saw, and some of the plays that they made on the ball?
Yeah, no doubt. They did a nice job getting the ball back from us a couple times. I made, a couple poor decisions that wish I had back. That's practice. These are some of the new stuff that we're putting in, and I want to make sure I get reps at it. I got to do a better job of making sure that we end up with the ball after every play. That's everybody included, so I got to do a better job of that.
This is the first time we've kind of talked to you since the Cowboys practice. So what do you want to take from that and then continue building on, since these are really kind of only your live reps versus opponents?
Yeah, no, it's always good to get out there and play somebody different, different schemes, different looks, different players, just getting used to all that kind of stuff. We saw some stuff from them that we haven't seen any of in camp, which is really good for us as a team. And me as a quarterback to see our plays kind of develop against certain coverages and certain players. So I'm always just trying to soak up as much as I possibly can when it comes to these practices, knowing that, we're just trying to get some good work in.
Do you equate this to kind of your preseason in these next couple of days?
No, I think the whole process, I can't sit there and, say this day or that day or whatever. Every day is important to me, whether we're practicing against our guys or somebody else. I'm trying to, learn and develop in this offense as best I can each and every day.
Is there much, in your experience, is there much of a big difference from the first day to the second day when you do a joint practice against a new?
No. I feel like everybody kind of mixes it up. Hopefully we can, play a little bit more ball and not be pushing and shoving as much tomorrow. I think, that'll be good for everybody. But it's always good to get some work in. Oakland's a really talented team, Vegas. But it's good to get some work in with it.
When we talked to you early in camp, you said you really kind of get as comfortable and familiar with everything. Where do you feel like you're at with that as far as just all the new places, all that?
I'm getting there. Every day is new, and just trying to make sure that I soak up every day. Gonna have good days, gonna have bad days, especially out here on the practice field, trying stuff, and just want to learn from all of them.
Do you feel like you're getting the timing down with your wide receivers?
Yeah, that's always a work in progress, and just because we have one good day or one bad day doesn't mean it's going to be the same the next. If we go out and have a great day, we got to go out there and prove it again the next. So, that's the way we approach it at the skill position. Make sure that every time we step on the grass, we're doing everything we can to be in sync and on time. Some days obviously better than others.
Matthew, it looked like you guys had started with some positive momentum in the red period, kind of far for us to see. Are you able to take us through that red period past Van, Cooper, and...
Yeah, it was really good. We executed well in the pass game. Had some touchdowns in there, some positive plays. Thought guys were crisp and good, and then got in that first team period and obviously didn't start the practice the way we wanted to from the team aspect, and that's on me. So obviously got to do a better job and make sure we keep that momentum going.
Matt, the run game struggled in the live practice against Dallas and now today. Is that a concern, or is that something you guys think you can work through?
I'd like to, I want to go look at the tape because I thought we hit on a few. You're not going to hit on all of them, but I think we hit on a few. So I'll talk to you about that after the tape. Probably got to go peek at it and see.
A lot of the beginning of camp was Austin, mostly center. Now obviously it's Brian. Can you tell us about that transition and how that's going?
Yeah, it's been good. I think we got to stay flexible up there. Offensive line is a tough position. There's, nicks and bruises that happen throughout the season, and inevitably we're shuffling guys around. But I think Brian's done a great job, and Austin's doing a great job moving back to guard. So it's been pretty seamless. He's a really good communicator, a smart guy. Played center before for a long time, so it's been good to work with him.
You mentioned pushing and shoving. Was that hit there on Woody a little bit as much at the end?
Tough to say. Obviously we're out here trying to get some work in, but defensive guys are aggressive, and that's the way it is. I understand he's trying to make a play. It's a big situation in a 2-minute drive. I just want to make sure we're all staying safe. The biggest thing is just come out of this thing injury-free, and make sure everybody's available.
Did the rain or wet field give you pause at all, Matthew?
No, it wasn't too bad. I think our guys did a great job trying to keep the balls as dry as they could, and once the rain settled down, you really didn't notice it at all. Good.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Go ahead, guys.
Notice you worked exclusively on the offensive side this time rather than going back.
Well, yeah, we were bound. I mean, it was. We had a couple things go on, and I was mostly with the offense today. Yeah, that's correct.
Sean, what did you take away from Matthew Stafford's outing today? He said that you guys did try out some new things, try to force a couple of looks, but in terms of the turnovers or the...
Yeah, a couple of them. I mean, when you look at it, the one, I thought it was a good aggressive decision, the one over the middle where he's kind of resetting to the backside of progression. I thought it was a good job by them, being able to play visual on the quarterback, and then a couple of them are just tip balls that really didn't have anything to do with him. But I didn't like how sloppy it felt overall. There was a lot of breaks in the action because of unnecessary stuff, and it wasn't exclusive to one side or the other, but, for us to get the work that I know Coach Gruden and his group wants, and for us and our group, we got to clean up some of the mechanics, and, I got to do a better job of managing some of the things as well. But there's going to be a lot of good things that we can learn from, but it just didn't feel good the way that it ended, just based on a lot of unnecessary things that took away from football. There's still some things I know we can take away and be able to learn from it, but there was a lot of unnecessary things that I know both of us want to be able to eliminate to try to get better, and we'll figure out what that looks like for tomorrow.
Is that what you guys talked about on the field?
Yeah. All of us had the same intentions. And again, I don't believe there was any sort of malicious intent from their guys, but, just that practice etiquette and getting the work that we want. This is two teams trying to get ready for the upcoming season, trying to shape one another, and we want to make sure that we structure the practice in a way that's beneficiary for both of us.
Sean, considering that you said the offense wasn't at its best against the Cowboys and it's a little bit sloppy out here today, how concerned are you, just given these are your kind of live looks that you use as...
Yeah, I'm not concerned. That's I think, you learn from it. We don't do any sort of game planning for these practices. This is a great opportunity to test a lot of our rules, and that's what I like about Matthew, is he's aggressively trying things out, so then you can learn how to smartly, be smart with that decision-making thought process when the games really count. And so there's a lot of good things. It's a totally different structure defensively than what we're accustomed to seeing. Gus and Coach Marinelli, those guys do a really good job, but we want to make sure we're getting the work in. And then I know the same thing with Coach Gruden and his offense with Greg Olsen, giving our defense good looks.
How are you feeling about Darrell Henderson at running back right now?
Feel really good, Miles. He's done a nice job. I think he's really picked it up the last week. He's had really good practices, stacking good days on top of one another, and that's the thing that we're looking forward to. Thomas Brown always does a really good job with that group, so been very pleased with Darrell lately.
More broadly, the run game, that's something you want to see more. I know it's tough to evaluate in this setting.
Yeah, it is. I mean, there's, the run game in these settings where you're not actually tackling is always difficult, Stu. There was a couple good ones, and there was some couple plays where those guys did a good job of coming off the football on the edges and, being able to play some different things technique-wise that are, they're going to change the way that we have to have our technique and fundamentals from an approach standpoint, specific to whatever concepts that we're activating. But again, that was one of the reasons that it was enticing to be able to practice with these guys. Is it's very different philosophical approaches that can only benefit us as we're getting ready for 17 games.
So it's cleaner tomorrow. What do you tell your guys so it is?
Yeah, I got to go really back and look at it, and I think part of it is how we structure the practice to get the things that we want out of it. But I don't want to make it like it's negative, like we didn't get anything out of it. There was a lot of things that we can take away. I just felt like for the most part when we've worked with them previously and then when we've worked with other clubs, there hasn't been as many things that have taken away from just the football that it felt like to me. Sometimes when you're fresh off the field, you think, maybe it wasn't as bad as you think, but there was just a lot of things that I think we can clean up, and I think it starts with me.
How do you balance that when, you're within your own team, you're protecting the team, you're not going to hit guys. But in this situation, you have young players trying to make teams, trying to make an impression, and maybe get a little bit more overly.
It's a delicate balance, Gary, and I think you got to make sure that you're very clear about what the intentions are behind what we're trying to get done in these practices. And a lot of these practices are structured in a manner that's reflective of the veteran guys are getting a lot of that work, and especially with how we've kind of approached it and how we've set it up. But I think there's always a little bit of clarity when you take a step away, look at the film, connect with the Raiders coaches, and then figure out, all right, how can we make sure to get what we both want out of tomorrow, however we end up deciding to do that. Yeah, Leonard, he's going to be okay, but we were just smart with him with his ankle. He just got his forearm banged up, but he ended up returning to practice.
You have a few weeks left for this training camp. it's the team on schedule, or you feel there's been some challenges?
I think we got to just continue to stack blocks. It's hard to really say until you get into these live game settings, but these practices are good indicators of where you're at. It's not the end-all, be-all because of how we approach it, but we've got a long way to go, and we still have a good amount of time, but we can't afford to waste a single day.
Tremaine Ingram, like
He had a little allergic reaction with something that he ate earlier.
Is there anything to be gained, Sean, out of practicing with that up-tempo, the intensity, the energy that might lead to, some of those, skirmishes that stop practice, but they're still practicing in an amplified setting, their emotions running high, like they would be in a game?
Absolutely, Omar. There's a lot to be gained. You can learn so many different things in these settings without any of the ramifications or repercussions that you would normally have, whether it be penalties in a game where you end up really just being able to talk about composure, playing one snap at a time, being able to move on from a bad play from one snap to the next, being able to stay steady through the good ones. So these are great learning opportunities, not only for players but for coaches alike, and there'll be a lot of things that we can gain from this film.
Just real quick, Ben.
Last one, guys.
I know you underwent surgery Monday. Do you have a timetable yet for him?
I think it should be anywhere between 4 and 6 weeks. Things went well. There wasn't, any further complications, and my understanding is that the surgery went well. So anywhere between a month and 6 weeks.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Sean.